Yes. Ashrita, can you briefly tell us about yourself?
So my name is NAUPADA ASHRITA, sir. I'm from Visakhapatnam. I have done my graduation in life sciences and I worked as a moderator in qualitative research analysis for 1.5 years before full-fledgedly starting preparation for UPSC, sir.
Any of your hobbies or passion or interest that you can tell us about?
Yes, sir. Sir, I love cooking and my hobbies include home organization, watching stand-up comedy and social experiment videos and shows, sir.
Okay. With me, I have 2014 officer, Mr. Naidu Harris. So, sir, you can start.
Sir, I am audible, right?
Yes, you're audible.
Hi, Arshita.
Hello, sir.
Uh, can you please explain which social experiments did you watch?
So mostly there is an American show by the name What Would You Do, Sir? That show I follow regularly and I have watched all the seasons of it. And apart from that, many YouTube videos, whichever is available on the YouTube by various YouTubers from different countries, I watched that, sir.
Is there any one particular social experiment which caught your attention?
The most of the plots which usually relates to social issues like illiteracy or discriminating against a person who has a disease or a disability, all these things hit me differently, sir.
Even have you watched Sachime Jayate of Amir Khan?
Sir, no, sir, I'm sorry, I don't know. I mean, I have watched a few episodes of that, but I didn't complete it, sir.
Okay, so what did you learn out of these social experiments?
So given the same situation, different people tend to react differently. Even if the urge of reacting in the same manner is there in each and every person of us, we, based on our prejudices or based on our thinking or anything, we react to the same situation differently. No two persons have the same response to a same situation, and few people might be sensitive or overly sensitive, while a few people might be inconsiderate of the same thing.
Okay, can you explain the term idiosyncrasy? What does idiosyncrasy means?
Well, as far as I can recollect, it has something to do with our thinking abilities, sir. I'm not able to recollect the exact meaning of idiosyncrasy right now.
I can give you a hint. Just now you have explained the same. The uniqueness of each and every person who is different from other is idiosyncrasy. So, do you want to say that by watching these social experiments, you have learned about the idiosyncrasies?
Yes, sir, I can put that in that way. Of different people.
Okay, so let us. Okay, so tomorrow let us assume that. If you have become an got into Indian administrative service, so how the social experiments learning, or how whatever knowledge you have gained out of the social experiments, how are you going to use as an administrator in public administration?
The first thing which is very clear, as I have already mentioned, is not every person reacts to a situation in the same way. So, creating sensitivity about a particular issue which is more prevalent in the society is what would be my first step, sir. And the second step is that, for an example, if we take an example like helping a victim of accident or something, we can promote the Samaritan laws, or we can give some rewards or incentives to help the people who need aid in critical situations. So all these things I would take care of in my administrative area, sir.
Okay, Ashrita, for example, like I will give you a scenario. I am audible, right, Ashrita?
Yes, sir, you're audible, sir.
You are not visible.
Am I not clear, sir?
You are not
Okay,
visible.
sir. I'm sorry, sir. I think there might be an issue with the network.
No, fine. Yeah. See, imagine a scenario where, let us assume, you being the district collector, you could imagine yourself being a superintendent of police, SP of a district. If a mob has attacked and there are riots that are prevailing in that particular region, so now can you apply the knowledge you learned out of the social experiments into that particular scenario to deal with that aspect?
So to deal with this aspect in the long term, I can apply this learning of mine from this experiment shows and also. But immediate response mine would be to halt the mob lynching or maybe any other thing, riots which are going on. So my immediate action would be taking the recourse of law. But in the long term, yes, I can definitely use these learnings in my controlling of these situations, not to, taking care of not repeating the same situations, creating sensitivities among the people.
Okay. So can you explain the term life sciences?
The life sciences pertain to the scientific study which is related to biology, sir, living organisms. It consists of many different branches like biology, zoology, botany, biochemistry, biotechnology, microbiology. All these things come into life sciences.
What is the difference between biotechnology and biochemistry?
So biochemistry mostly relates to the chemical processes that undergoes within within an organism, be it a human or any microorganism. But whereas biotechnology deals with altering or manipulating the technology to elicit positive responses or any other reactions out of the out of the microorganisms, something. Yes.
Okay. So see, now you are saying that, okay, so as you have worked in life sciences, or you are a student of life sciences, so can you please tell me where especially, like, now we have seen the COVID scenario and all these aspects. India as a country, what important things do you suggest from life sciences perspective so that our medicine as well as our research can go ahead in biotechnology? What are the three important aspects which you suggest?
So we tend to lay disproportionate attention towards the curative medicine. So I think we have to also uh, give focus towards preventive medicine, where Indian knowledge systems, especially the Ayurvedic systems, would come into play. So we have many knowledge. We can derive knowledge from many of our ancestors or tribal people, where we can use that for enhancing our preventive cure. So because as they said, prevention is better than cure. This is the first thing I would like to suggest. Sir. Second thing is to maintain a proper data. Already government is in the right direction of creating digital health stack to integrate all the data of Indians. But I think this has to be taken on large scale and to speed up the activity so as to collect everyone to have a proper records of health, and we can assess and direct our R&D towards that. And the third thing regarding health I would like to have is that to have a proper medical infrastructure, schools, colleges, so as to have maintain a proper proper patient and doctors ratio, patient and nurse ratio, and also to stop the brain drain which is going on currently in our health sector.
Okay. Are you aware of the term biosimilars?
Yes, a biosimilar is something which imitates a drug. I'm a bit confused between a biosimilar and a generic medicine, sir, but it is
Generic medicine is completely different.
yes,
What you are saying is correct. You please go ahead.
yes, sir. Biosimilars are derived from biological organisms, and it is similar to the functioning of a particular drug, sir. Biosimilar of a drug.
Okay. So you had done some work in qualitative research, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
in which areas did you work?
I'm sorry, sir. I was not able to hear this question. So can you please repeat it for me?
You worked as a freelancer for qualitative research analysis, right?
Yes, sir.
In which areas did you work?
So my area mostly pertains to the appraisals, feedback, and conducting surveys regarding a particular service or a product, sir. I started off moderating and translating for the products like Ayush toothpaste, Alexa, or any Ayurvedic product or something. Later I ended from half of my career, I went into political surveys where I would go into society and conduct the feedback from the people regarding the benefits of a scheme, or are they aware of the schemes which government is giving? How many people are fully aware of the, their entitlements, and so on. So.
Okay. Have you employed any particular statistical tool to do this qualitative research?
So we would be getting a research design based on which we have to conduct the survey. It ranges from personal interview to a group discussion and recording of the entire interview. There is no particular, there is no single design that we would apply. It depends on. Hello,
Yeah.
sir.
I'm audible, right?
Hello.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now you're audible.
Okay.
I'm
See,
sorry, I missed out some parts, so I couldn't hear.
as you are a student of biotechnology,
Yes, sir.
okay. So, given a chance, what methodology do you adopt for drug discovery?
Mhm. Sir, I'm sorry.
Okay. Uh, okay. Next thing. See, India has become a pharmaceutical hub, right?
Yes, sir.
So, what are the three main reasons because of which India has become like a pharma hub for the world, especially for generics? What are the main reasons? Three main reasons.
Uh, Sir, one thing I can recollect right now is the patented drugs. India produces a large amount of generic drugs, sir, uh, which is which patented drugs are not affordable by everyone. And India being a welfare society, and Indian government is also rightly pushing towards using the generic medicines, but maintaining the standards of the patent drugs. So we have a large production of generic medicines in India, which has become our main item of export to the other developing countries. So it has made India the, pharmacological hub of the world. This is the reason I'm able to recollect right now. So.
Sir, you can take it from here on. Okay.
Yeah, ASHRITA.
Sir, yes,
See,
sir.
there is a subject of environmental studies in your
Yes, sir.
graduation, right?
Yes, sir.
So, for example, these days, it is said that electric vehicles should gradually replace this petrol and diesel vehicles for having
Yes, sir.
a better, environment for future. Do you agree with this? Do you think electric vehicles really cause less damage to the environment compared to the petrol and diesel vehicles?
So, given the condition that electrical vehicles uses electricity for charging, which is also derived from the same fossil fuels, electrical vehicles are not they are somewhat greenwashed terminology for fossil fuels. So, electrical vehicles are not 100% green. But yes, sir, this would be a way forward. But giving more thrust on alternate fuel cells would be the way forward, sir.
See, do you think in the next 2 to 3 decades, the hydrogen fuel vehicles versus the lithium battery vehicles, electric vehicles, which one do you think the world will mostly go for in next 2 to 3 decades, as per the present trends?
So, as per the present trends and the current ongoing things in the world, I think the lithium-ion battery vehicles would be the future, as many corporates and many big corporates like Elon Musk's Tesla is also heading towards lithium-ion manufacturing from space sector. And as the Indian government, we have recently found lithium reserves in Jammu and Kashmir as confirmed by Geological Survey of India. And also the whole world is looking towards greening their vehicle mobility infrastructure. I think lithium ion batteries would definitely be the future, sir. Though hydrogen fuel cells and many other alternatives would come up. But as of now,
Okay.
I can see lithium.
See, as ASHRITA, you said India has also found, GSA has found lithium over in Jammu Kashmir. Tell me why, what is the specialty? Why lithium is better than this cadmium, nickel, or other batteries? What is so unique about the lithium? That also you have the biochemistry, right? In your subjects,
Yes, sir.
biochemistry. What is so unique about lithium compared to other components in the periodic table? In the periodic table, as a battery, I mean, as a battery.
Sir, it is lightweight and it is energy dense. So I think this suits
One
the
second,
requirement.
can you please clarify energy dense? Can you please elaborate on what is energy density? What is the meaning of energy density?
So it gives more energy when per unit when it is, I mean, combust or some combustion
But
happens.
lithium won't be combusting, right?
I'm sorry, sir, I'm not
Uh,
able to
okay,
recollect.
okay. Means, do you mean to say more energy per kg of that lithium, something like that?
Yes, sir.
It can store more per kg of lithium than cadmium, something like that.
Yes, sir, but I'm not clear, sir.
Okay, in that
I
case,
was I'm
okay, see, energy density, leave it aside. People most talking about energy efficiency. Energy density, okay, let it be aside. What is energy efficiency? I mean, I'm just
energy
talking about this batteries only, in terms of batteries.
so the percentage of
ASHRITA.
sir, am I visible, sir?
Actually, you're not, but now you are. Yeah, continue.
Sir, energy efficiency. Sir, can I take a guess, sir? I'm not sure, but can I take a guess, sir?
But if you want to take a guess, first you should tell what is efficiency. If efficiency is correct, I'll allow you for the guess. What is efficiency, first of all?
Sir, efficiency is the utility of a thing, sir. How much how much utility can we derive out of a single unit of a substance?
Okay, now you can take a guess.
Sir, energy efficiency is how much energy is emitted from a single unit of lithium when it is used.
When it is used. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you said India has got lithium reserves. Is it enough if a country gets lithium reserves? I mean, can you name other major countries in the world which has major lithium reserves? Lithium majorly is there in which countries?
So lithium is the most reserves of lithium which are found is currently in Bolivia, Argentina, and Chile, sir. And also Australia and China has considerable amount of lithium reserves, sir. But to answer the first question, having lithium reserves in itself is not enough, sir, because the lithium, even if we have the capacity to mine the lithium, we would get the crude lithium. We need to have the capacity of extracting pure lithium to be used in other equipment like solar or cells or something. So having the reserves itself is not important. It might turn out to be a resource curse if we do not have the capacity to use the reserves what we got recently. So Indian government is trying to auction the lithium reserves to the private manufacturers who can manufacture the lithium inside India, sir.
Refine the
And
lithium.
this is a plan currently. Yes, refining.
Okay, okay. You said Indian government is trying something. Can you tell me Indian government what it has done to encourage electric vehicles in the present budget? I think you have gone through the budget, right? What has government of India announced to encourage electric vehicles in India? I just want 2 or 3 points. Announcements.
So I am yet to go through the budget, sir.
Okay. So in budget, do you remember anything other than electric vehicles? You can tell any 2 things that you like in the present budget. You like.
Sir, in the present budget, there is a scheme to formalize the women workforce, domestic women workforce. I think this is a step taken to count the domestic or the care economy, which is currently undermined in India, sir.
That is not an announcement, actually. There is a plan. Anyhow, ASHRITA, you in your DF shows you are from your father right now is in Orissa. Right now, are you saying Orissa? Present Odisha, you are?
No, sir. I'm in Delhi, sir, but we stay in Andhra Pradesh, sir, Visakhapatnam.
Have you ever stayed in Orissa?
Yes, sir. I spent my childhood days in Odisha, sir.
Okay. Which part of Orissa? Most of your time
Sir,
spent
it
which
is
part?
Rourkela.
Okay. See, Ashrita, why Odisha, in spite of having so many mineral reserves, slips backward? Not only Odisha, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, even African continent, though they have a lot of reserves, why they could not really develop?
So despite having the reserves, they could not cash on the reserves because they, as I already mentioned, they do not have the refining capacity or extracting capacity, and the
So what? See,
government.
so what? They can at least sell the reserves and get the money, They can at least sell the reserves and get the money. Why they could not even do that? For example, countries like UAE, Saudi Arabia are able to sell the oil. They are not refining the oil actually. Of course, they're refining, but mostly they're selling the crude, right?
So the in countries like UAE and Saudi Arabia, the reserves are in their hands only, sir. The local people are ruling over the reserves. But in the former examples where we have taken, there is less say for the local people in the entire thing, sir. Be it mining or extracting or exporting.
Local people means who? I don't understand. Local government?
Local people in the sense the people who reside there. Take for instance Africa, sir. There are many, despite having many mines, many other countries which are far developed than them and which have the capacity to invest so much capital in extracting and refining the ores. They provide them employment instead of giving the resources to them, and they extract it for their own benefit for their own country, sir. And so there is a less share of profits which goes to the region which has the resources rather than the country which is extracting that.
If you are district collector of one of the mineral rich districts of Orissa, and you see that the people in that district are socially poor, socially backward, economically poor, suggest 2 or 3 mechanisms that you will put in place so that they will benefited.
So the
Means
first thing
the
I would
benefits
do.
of the reserves have to go to them. What will you do?
So as we already have a mineral and mines development fund, I would first see that if the funds are properly allocated to them and there are no diversions to outsiders, and the funds are properly utilized for the local people development. And the second thing I would see, sir, if there is any transgression of laws that are taking place in my region, and I would try to urge the companies to give employment to the local people and check if there are violations of any wage laws or something. And
Do you think a collector has the powers to dictate the corporate whom they have to employ and whom they shall not employ?
so I can't dictate. So the collector, in his official capacity, he definitely can't do so. But we can urge or create awareness among the people so that they know their rightful entitlements out of a situation, sir.
Okay, Ashrita. And also you said you are from Visakhapatnam most of your time, right? Your studies are from
Yes,
Vizag. Do you
yes, sir.
think do you think AP has to do to make Visakhapatnam the future Hyderabad? Is it possible to make Visakhapatnam like Hyderabad? Say 10 years down the line.
So Vishakhapatnam uh,
In
has a
terms of
limited space.
revenue generation, my point is in revenue generation. As we lost Hyderabad, Andhra Pradesh, can we make Visakhapatnam as a revenue generator for Andhra Pradesh as much as Hyderabad?
So, Visakhapatnam has the capacity to do so, sir. Already, it has many drug companies, pharmacy companies, and the service sector, IT, special economic zone. If we can emphasize more on the service sector in Visakhapatnam, I think Visakhapatnam also would be a major revenue generator. Also, it is now a major revenue generator in Andhra Pradesh, but we can enhance it further, sir.
I think you did not tell me a single point of how Visakhapatnam can revenue generate other than having drug industries. Please think and tell 2 to 3 sources of revenue generation from Visakhapatnam. Potential but not tapped.
The one thing I can think of right now is the marine capacity of Visakhapatnam, sir. Being a coastal state, and also government's thrust on exporting marine items, shrimps and fishes, I think Visakhapatnam can encash on the marine industry right now, sir. And the second one would be, sir, service industry. I can remind. I'm sorry, sir. I have to
Good,
check back on
good,
that.
good. Service is a good thing. Service means other than IT. Other than IT, do you know any other service industry? Any other service industry? Leave IT aside.
Sir, tourism is one sector we can give major push, sir.
Okay, Naidu sir, up to you. Maybe he is somewhere. Okay. Also,
sorry. So your questions are completed?
Yeah, Miss, I will ask again. After you ask few questions, I'll ask again and we will close it.
Okay.
In second round.
ASHRITA, so can
Sure.
you tell what is resource curse means? Can you please explain the term resource curse?
So despite having the resources, sufficient resources, not getting benefits out of them, and indeed having these resources, acting against our well-being, so degrading our, so they are being exploited, and instead the fallbacks of the resource extraction like pollution or displacement being affecting the local people is called curse of a region.
Okay. So what could be done to really address the issue?
So following all the laws and using the resources for the, I mean, we can't use the resources for the local people always, but we can definitely see that the benefits out of the extraction must be proportionately given to the local people, sir.
How
Like
can
employment,
okay, employment?
like employment in the industries, and also taking care of if at all there is a displacement in small scale, rehabilitating them properly.
One small thing I will explain. See,
Yes,
generally
sir.
in mining industry, for example, the profits of any company which mines, it will be in the range of 50 to 60%. So the actual cost of employability is only 2 to 3% or at max 5%. Do you really think for the amount of mines that are being excavated or being dug out from that place, the benefits that are being accrued to these people in the form of employment, will they commensurate for the loss which they are going to really like the loss that is going to happen to them? Can it really happen in their lifetime altogether?
So now that you have given the figures, this is a large disproportionate loss which they are being faced. I I do not think there would be an equal compensation, even if there needs to be a proper safeguard regarding this, sir. It is disproportionately affecting their lifestyle and lives.
Okay. So can you tell me why India is not able to invent any new molecule in pharmaceutical industry? All we are doing is only like reverse engineering or really going for generic medicine. Why India is not able to develop even a single new molecule in the past 30, 40 years?
So, if I may take a guess, sir, I think the R&D in this sector is really lagging with merely 0.6 to 0.7% of research and development. I think India has to take major leaps towards developing its research and development facilities, sir.
Is it the facilities or the cost involved? Cost and success rate.
Uh, so both the cost, the success rate, and the gestation period which goes into discovering a new molecule or a pharmaceutical product is which is constraining India to do that, I think so.
Okay. So are you aware of this particular technology called CRISPR technology?
Yes, sir.
For what purpose it is being used?
So it is used on a large scale for genome editing, sir.
Where is it being applied at present?
So this is being applied for genetic disorders, sir.
Genetic disorders.
Yes, sir. Mostly for the genetic disorders and any other diseases, to treat any other diseases which has a I mean editing of genome. I'm sorry, sir.
Okay. What about vaccinations?
Yes, sir. Even in vaccinations, the CRISPR-Cas9 technology is being used.
Okay. So, are you aware of this thing called compulsory licensing?
Yes, sir.
It's compulsory licensing.
So the patents are being protected under different IP laws of the nations, in both international and national. But if there is an emergency situation, governments are within their domains can give compulsory licensing to the companies to manufacture the patented products for a brief period of time to face the sudden emergence of a epidemic or a pandemic, sir. It is also
Okay.
within the domain of WTO's IPR laws, sir.
Okay. What is voluntary licensing?
So can I take a guess, sir? So voluntary licensing is given by the company which holds the patent to manufacture the product without giving away its patent rights.
Okay. So, is there in the recent scenario where voluntary licensing has been invoked in any particular scenario?
Sir, I'm sorry, sir, I'm not aware of it.
You can take a guess. During COVID, it had happened.
Sir, is it about the Pfizer medicine? Is it about the um, sir, I'm not able to recollect the
Lilly
name
and
also,
Lilly
sir,
had
right?
given it for remdesivir. So,
Okay, okay.
why, even though there is compulsory licensing available, why Indian government is not invoking continuously compulsory licensing for many drugs which are completely in dire need for cancer patients or for AIDS patients? Why India is not invoking compulsory licensing?
Sir, one thing I can think of right now is, sir, there is a limitation to this clause also, sir. Even if India invokes compulsory licensing, we should have the capacity to manufacture that on a large scale. Only then the compulsory licensing would be fruitful. And also, so this capacity is not rested with many nations. So the compulsory, even though there is a compulsory licensing clause in WTO, it is not invoked very often. So,
Is it the reason? Is it the main reason why it is not being invoked?
so for the COVID-19 vaccinations, this is the reason why many countries are not able to invoke this clause. So,
India,
like many African nations.
okay, see, take the case of India, being a pharmaceutical hub, especially for generics. India has the capacity. Still, we did not invoke compulsory licensing. Uh, Only in one or two cases it had happened. In the Nexavar drug, it had happened in 2013 by Natco Pharma. So for the Bayer. So after that, nothing much had happened or materialized. So what were the main reasons?
So, if I may say, this also acts as a disincentive for all the corporates that come up with the patents, and this would also hinder the process of research and development, even in corporates. I think this might be the reason why India is not invoking compulsory licensing regards other drugs.
Okay. Tell me the difference between viral vector based vaccines and mRNA based vaccines. What are the differences between these two vaccines?
So, viral vector-based vaccines comprises of geoengineering a viral vector, like example adenovirus vaccine or rhino vaccines, which are less dangerous than the original vaccine. Like for example, coronavirus is very much dangerous than the adenovirus, which causes flu in chimpanzees. So these adenoviruses are geoengineered and they are then injected into people, sir, so that geoengineered with spike proteins of COVID vaccine, coronavirus, and then they are injected into people so that the people would come up with the antibodies to fight the original corona vaccines. Whereas the mRNA vaccines has something to do with the mRNA, sir. It is a particular protein which is manipulated and then injected into people.
It has better efficacy.
So mRNA vaccines are very much volatile because mRNA, being a single strand, is very much vulnerable to damage, sir. Though it has more efficiency, mRNA vaccines are quite accurate and efficient, but due to the volatile nature, I think viral vector vaccine.
Storage difficulties are there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Storage and logistical.
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, ASHRITA, tell me how your
Yes, sir.
knowledge of biotechnology or biochemistry will be helpful to you as a civil service officer. You can think, not a problem.
Sir, as a civil servant, in my area of administration, sir, I might be dealing with different people. The knowledge of biotechnology would provide me to deal with certain sections of people in a different way. For example, tribal people are more prone to diseases, genetic disorders like thalassemia or sickle cell anemia. I would be knowing their background, and also, sir, it would help me greatly in understanding the health infrastructure and health related issues in my area. Um, so that is what I can recollect right now, sir.
Okay. See, have done masters? Only
Sir,
bachelor's, right? Bachelor's,
yes.
okay. Okay, see, ASHRITA, are you observing the growth story of Andhra Pradesh in comparison to Telangana after the bifurcation?
Sir, not in particular, sir.
Do you think both the states, after bifurcation, both the states are growing at same pace? Means you can think of, SGDP, GSDP, or whatever. GSD returns, whatever. Just generally, do you think both of them are growing at same pace, or any differences there between both the states?
Sir, there is a lot of, when it comes to gross state domestic product, Andhra Pradesh is not faring well, sir. Though Telangana is not doing good, but Andhra Pradesh, Andhra has so much to catch up on the state domestic product wise.
So in the growth story, where do you think, as per your answer, where do you think AP has gone wrong in comparing Telangana? What has AP missed, obviously? According to you, what should AP do in order to catch up with Telangana?
Sir, I have to check that.
Okay, see, let us talk about AP government welfare schemes, Andhra Pradesh, okay? Name your 5 favorite welfare schemes of AP. Okay, 2. In 2 welfare schemes of your state, Andhra Pradesh.
Sir, it's the newly released pension scheme, Sir Jagananna pension scheme, which is a combination of both old pension scheme and new pension scheme, which has been a tussle in the union government. And the second one is the thrust on education, sir. I do not remember the name of the scheme, sir.
But have you heard that welfare schemes of AP are pushing AP into deep debt trap? Are you aware of that?
Sir, yes, sir. There is the news that the emergence of freebie culture in Andhra Pradesh is the reason for the expenditure that it is facing on the fiscal front.
Expenditure is facing. Debt is facing.
Yes,
expenditure. Sir. Okay, now what is your opinion on that? Why should not we do
Sir,
that? Shall we do or shall we not do that? Shall we stop these welfare schemes or no?
So India being a welfare state, state government is rightful in having the welfare schemes, sir, but it is taking a great toll on the state's administration. I mean, state's exchequer.
Okay, but
Giving
what shall we do
welfare
now?
states,
Yeah.
so there needs to be fiscal prudence while applying these welfare schemes. There needs to be proper identification of the beneficiaries, sir, and also the wasteful expenditure or the siphoning off of the money or the corruption which comes with it should be stopped. And the freebie culture, which usually happens due to the populist demands, this must also be contained, sir. The freebie culture, though it gives a push to the welfare attitude of the state, must be within the fiscal prudence.
Okay,
So
see,
that in long term, yes.
understood. Now let us compare with India. You might have heard that recently, after the budget is released, IMF actually called India as a bright spot. Are you aware of that?
Yes, sir.
Not only for the interest investments, but also for the growth purpose. Now tell me, what specifically in budget made IMF think like that? Or as you haven't gone through budget, tell me 3 to 4 main reasons that made IMF think India is a bright spot globally. Just I want just 3 points, that's all.
Yes, sir. So India's thrust on capital expenditure is the first thing, sir, and it's well calibrated.
Can you give examples of 3 4 examples of capital expenditure that is planned in this year's budget? In which sectors, which fields? Roughly how much?
I'm sorry, sir. Budget. I
Okay,
have
no
not
problem.
gone.
You just know capital expenditure has been announced. Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
Then okay, next point.
And the second one, so I think it's well calibrated monetary policy is one reason to contain the inflation, and together with the fiscal policy, right, like releasing grains in time, uh, imposing duties on certain products.
What are those products?
All
Certain products. What are the certain products on which duties are imposed?
so when there was a scarcity or when the last year's Rabi production was not up to the mark, we have stopped exporting wheat to contain the inflation domestically.
But I'm asking about
And
duties. Duties. You said no. Duties have been stopped. Yeah. Okay.
I'm not able
Ashrita.
to.
Yeah. Okay, Ashrita. So, Radu sir, shall we stop it here? You have any question? Okay, Ashrita. Before Radu's response, I want you to tell me what qualities in you do you think made you think that you are suitable for civil services? I want examples. I want a proof. What are qualities you mentioned? You should tell me some story, an example to prove that you have actually got that quality.
Sir, I have a good understanding of situations, sir. I can grasp things quickly. I have been managing many projects, and I also have good interpersonal skills, sir. I can understand people and their whatever they say, their problems, be it their stories. I have a good listening skills, sir. And also, sir, I'm a good administrator, which can be proved by my leadership skills in my schooling, where I was vice captain for the school, managing different and holding different positions in my school. Also, sir, I got my idea was chosen to be the best idea by Google Business Innovator Summit, which was held in Visakhapatnam,
Okay.
where
But 1 second, may I know the idea? It's very interesting. Sorry, just one more question. What is the idea that got the what?
so it relates to health informatics, where creating a digital database, which government has come up in 2018 in the form of National Health Stack. This summit was actually, this has happened towards the end of 2015, sir. At that time, I gave the presentation regarding having a proper digital health infrastructure where every person's previous health records, because in biochemistry and biotechnology, we are usually made aware of people having different allergies. Fortunately, in India, we do not come across such situations, but
Okay,
people.
okay. Yeah, no, I understood. I understood. That idea got first prize.
Yes, sir.
Very good, very good. Good, Ashrita. I mean, okay, now, sir, shall we end or you have any question?
No, sir. Fine.
Okay, Ashrita, here ends
Thanks.
the discussion.